What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jace, and today I'm going to be giving y'all my top 10 tools that I recommend every mechanic to have. So this isn't going to be like your typical set of tools. It's just going to be spread out individual tools you can go buy. I'm not going to include any sets in here, but I am going to include some sets in the description that I do recommend and use. And all of these tools I'm fixing to show y'all I've used for years. They're all tried, tested, and they're all true to what they represent. So starting off over here on the left side, we're gonna have a good set of channel locks. So I have both the Crescent and the Milwaukee set, which it's funny because I couldn't find my smaller Crescent. I couldn't find my big Milwaukee. So I'm just gonna be showing these two today. So you can pick up this here Milwaukee set for about 30 bucks is what I got it for. I'm not sure if it's changed. I'll pop it up on screen as it has. But anyways, I do know it is under 100 bucks, but you can pick this up for about 40 bucks for a good set. So these tools, they could be used for just about anything, whether it's trying to tighten something, loosen something, grab something. I end up using these tools all the time. So next, y'all, we're gonna have a good OBD2 reader. So I have the Innova 5210, and I use this thing for any time the check engine light comes on, and this can also do live data and diagnostics. So say you have, like me, I've got my '05 Cummins, I could put this in and I could pull up my fuel pressure and see what my fuel pressure is, and it'll read just about perfect. It'll sit about 6,800 PSI at idle and about 25,000 while I'm, running down the road. But this is a tool everybody needs, whether you're a mechanic or not. That way you can do your own diagnostics. So this tool right here will run you about $99, but there are some cheaper options you can get. But this right here is the tool I recommend because it's not too expensive. It is a good price point and it can do just about everything you need it to do. So next up, y'all, we're gonna have a DeWalt grinder, or just a grinder of any kind. So this grinder is right there at the top of that price point. It is right at $99 as well. But this, you can use this for just about anything. Whether it's getting ready to prep for some welding, getting ready, you gotta do something you gotta cut off, you gotta do some fabrication. I find myself using this tool weekly. So this next tool, it's kind of iffy on price because the tool alone is about 99 bucks. And the reason I was kind of like, when including it is because you got to buy a battery. The batteries for these things are about 50 bucks a piece. But if you don't have a Milwaukee ratchet or a ratchet of some type, you need to buy one. He goes, this is the tool that I use every day. No matter what I'm doing, I'm using this tool. You can use it like a regular ratchet. And as y'all could tell, these tools, they've been through the ringer. I use them, like I said, daily, and they still hold up great. And I liked them so much, I have two of them. So if you guys have Milwaukee or any type of brand, go get you a ratchet, or electric ratchet of some type. So the next tool on the list is going to be a torque wrench. So I got this torque wrench at Lowe's about a year ago, and I don't use a torque wrench for a lot, but I use it for like engine building. Sometimes I'll torque my drain plug. But torque wrenches, they're one of them tools that like you don't need daily, but when you have it, it's nice to have. But this tool right here, I got it at Lowe's on Black Friday last year. I think it was like 40 bucks. It's originally 99, but I got this for a good deal. And if you don't have a good torque wrench, I recommend going to get one of these because it's one of them tools to have around just for when you need it. You're not going to need it all the time, but it's good to have when you do need it. And if you guys have a torque wrench, make sure you're setting them at 0 if you're not using them. Because if you've got them set at 40 pounds, 60 pounds, over time that spring's going to compress and get stuck like that. And when you go to reset it, it's not going to set right and it's going to be uncalibrated. Next up on the list, y'all, I'm going to have a good pry bar. I use this tool probably not every day, but it's one of them good tools to have, whether you're doing brakes, you've got a lower control arm you're trying to pop off, just kind of anything that you're trying to do, it's good to have a good pry bar laying around. Kind of the same thing as the torque wrench. It's something you're not going to always be using, but it is nice to have whenever you need it. So this one, I picked it up at Harbor Freight for 8 bucks 3 years ago, and this thing still works great, and it is definitely worth the $8 you've got to spend on it. Next up, y'all, this is kind of one of them tools that not everybody has, but man, they're a game changer. It is going to be a Stubby Crescent wrench. And it kind of sounds dumb, but I believe this one will run out to about 1.5 inches, but it's a great tool to have because it'll fit in them small spaces, and it can fit on big bolts. And I find myself using this thing constantly. This is my go-to wrench. I use it whenever I've got anything that needs to be wrenched on and I can't find the size, or it's kind of a tight spot, this is my go-to. Next up, y'all, this is kind of a tool that, not everybody's gonna need, but it's nice to have. So it's gonna be a Klein Borescope. I've had this tool probably a year. I haven't used it a whole lot, but I've used it quite a bit on my truck whenever I put it back together, and before I tore it apart. I tore out all the injectors, and I could stick it down the injector hole, check out my pistons, check out the walls and all that. I believe this tool, when I got it, was 89 bucks, and I'm not sure if it's went up, but this is a great tool to get, and it also comes with this carrying case to keep it in. This is a nice carrying case, and it also has some little attachments. Like this is a magnet. You can screw it onto the end of the light, or it's not a magnet, it's a mirror. You can screw it onto the end of the light, and the camera reflects off the mirror, and it allows you to see your valves without having to buy an expensive borescope that you can flip around and all that. So next up, y'all, we're gonna have more of electrical type tools. We're gonna have some diagnostic tools and some actual wire working tools. So this is the tool I use probably more than anything else on this list when it comes to just daily use and all that. This is an electrical multimeter. It can do stuff such as check your ohms. Ohms is normally resistance, which I used this the other day in my 05 Cummins. Whenever I had an injector go bad, I was able to get in there and unhook all the injectors. I could check my resistances. So this is a great tool. You could check your voltage. You could check to see if you're charging. You could use this for just about anything. And I believe I picked this tool up for 30 bucks at O'Reilly's like 4 years ago, and it still works great. The only thing I've had to do to it was replace the battery. And if that's all I've had to do in 4 years for 30 bucks, this is a money well spent. Up kind of along with the electrical diagnostics tools, we're gonna have a test light. You can pick one of these bad boys up for $4.99, and kind of along with the multimeter, you can use it to just test electrical components. So they do make some fancy ones that have a built-in voltage gauge. But this one right here, it doesn't have that. This just tests light. So what you do with these is you hook this end up to the ground normally, and you can just stab electrical wires. This will pierce into actual wires, or you can check at the plug. But this is a great tool just to see if you're getting current there. It's not going to tell you how much current, and it's not going to tell you voltage and all that, but it is a great tool to have. Finally on this list, guys, we're going to have actual electrical working tools. So this is a pair of wire crimpers, and it does have a cutter on the end, but I don't ever actually use them. We're going to have actual snippers, which I use these normally just to cut. And you can use these to cut wires, zip ties, kind of just whatever, it doesn't matter. But these are a great tool to have, just not even necessarily just for wire working. You can do them for just about anything. And next up, I've got a pair of actual strippers, which me personally, I hate the ones that are all in one. Just normally because it's kind of a pain if you're trying to crimp it back here and you're in a tight spot and you're trying to squeeze it back around, and then you knock your wire out and then you get all mad. So I like having all individual tools. So each one of these, this right here is going to run you about 30 bucks, as well as the actual crimper. And then the snippers are going to be a little bit cheaper at 20. So they're a little bit cheaper. They're a good tool to have. So if you guys liked the video, and if y'all learned anything new today, if y'all see any tools that y'all like, and if y'all saw anything that I need to include, I want y'all to go ahead and comment down below, and I will see you guys later. Peace.